Hey guys, did you know that you could propagate this snake plant from a single leaf cutting? Well, if you didn't know, carry on watching and I'll show you how it's done. Hey guys, welcome back to Chef Made Plants, the place where you can learn how to look after and propagate your houseplants. If you're new here, then please consider subscribing to be notified when future videos come out. In today's video, I'm going to show you how you can take a single leaf cutting from this snake plant, otherwise known as a sansevieria, and propagate it into multiple plants of their own. You can do that through leaf cuttings or division. Division is where you take the plant out, divide it up into separate plants, pot them up, and they grow on to be their own separate plants. But I'm going to show you how you can get more bang for your buck by just taking a single leaf from the plant, cutting it up into sections, and then getting multiple plants from one leaf. So it's a really good method. I'm going to show you how it's done. The sansevieria plant, or the snake plant, is a very popular plant. You'll find it in most kind of big box stores like B&Q and Homebase, and also your local nurseries. Most of you have probably already got this at home, but you might not know how you can propagate from a leaf. So I'm going to show you how that's done. So let's get to it. Okay guys, so look at what we need to propagate the snake plant. Going to need a nice healthy plant to take the cutting from. Going to need some nice sharp clean scissors, a relatively sharp knife, some rooting powder that you can find in your local big box store such as B&Q and Homebase. I've put it into this container to make it easy to dip the cuttings into the rooting powder. Going to need a spray bottle, and then you're going to need your medium that you're going to put your cuttings in. There's two options really. You can put it in a glass or a vase that's relatively shallow, filled with water, halfway water in that glass, or you can use a propagation box. This is just a tote box filled with perlite that I've moistened, and this is a really good option for propagating plants that are generally a bit slower to root, such as the snake plant, because it creates a nice humid environment for them to sit on when you put the lid on, and that kind of promotes quicker root development. Okay, so we need to grab our plant and we need to identify a healthy looking leaf that's on the outside of the clump of leaves. So I think that one looks very healthy, but it's a bit too big. So I might take, oh, that's got a baby plant there. I might just take this little one at the end here. Should be easy to cut away. So really, you can either use scissors or a knife for this. Sometimes a knife is easier to get in there and kind of make the cut at the base of the leaf so you don't start damaging the other leaves. But if you prefer, you can always try and get in there with some nice sharp scissors. So I think for my one, I'm actually going to use scissors. So what you want to do is you want to go beneath the soil line as much as possible, so that way when you take the cutting, the base of that cutting won't be visible on this mother plant, so it kind of hides it when you cover the soil back up. So get right in there and take a nice sharp cutting. That's that. Then we can set the plant aside, and there you have your leaf cutting. So you can, if you wanted to, just stick that into water or perlite, and then the base of that will grow roots and it will start to push out new growth. But like I said in my intro, you can cut this up into sections, remembering which is the bottom and top of each section, and then when you place that into your medium, each section should grow their own roots, and then you'll get multiple plants from one leaf. Okay, so I think if we start from the top, take a nice section there. You can just do it with your scissors. So that's one, and then we can do another one about there. It's probably about, I don't know, 2 inches. Nice clean cut. So that's the bottom and that's the top. It's important you remember that because the roots are going to want to grow out of the bottom. There's another one. That one, and then we'll just tidy up the bottom of this leaf. It's looking a bit worse for wear being in the soil, so we'll just take a cut there. Try and be nice and clean, like I've not been there with your cuts. So remember that's the bottom. I can discard that. So now that we've got our cuttings, just want to take your rooting hormone. Like I said earlier, these will be slow to develop roots. It's just the way it is with this plant. It's a slow grower. So rooting powder is going to kind of speed that up for us a little bit. And it's also going to improve the kind of success rate of our cutting. So not too much, just a little dip into the rooting powder, like so. Knock off the excess, and that's one done. I'll do the same with that. Knock off the excess. And then that one. And then that one. So if you haven't got any perlite, like I said, you can take a glass or a small vase and kind of fill it. I filled this relatively small glass, you know, about halfway or a third of the way up with water, fresh water. You can take your cuttings, you can kind of bunch them all up together, and then you can place them inside. Make sure they're standing up. This might be a little bit too big for these cuttings, so you want something that's going to fit snugly into the vessel. So you just want to leave it in there, and then just change the water every week or so. Top it up when it starts to kind of evaporate. Keep the water fresh, and then within a few weeks they should develop roots. And then when they've developed about an inch or so worth of roots on each one of these cuttings, you then want to pot them up into their own pots, and in a few weeks or months later they'll start to push out new growth. But like I said, I prefer using a propagation box. So I'm just going to grab that. So all that's in here is just perlite, which is tiny bits of volcanic rock that's really light and really airy. It's really good for kind of propagation. Seems to promote healthy roots. They seem to like the medium. So all I've done, I've just watered this box, or this perlite in this box, quite lightly. You want it moist, but you don't want it soaking wet where there's puddles at the bottom of the box. So you just want to level it out a little bit. And all you're doing, you're just putting in your cuttings about an inch or so deep. Keep them together. And there you have it. So you've got 1 to 5 cuttings in there, and then there's room for some other propagations that you might want to do. Next step now is to grab your spray bottle and give it a good spray in here to kind of increase the moisture in the box. Don't go wild. That should be enough. And then we close the lid. And that is done. All that needs to happen now, that just needs to go into a bright spot, bright location within your house. I'm going to put it next to my window on my east-facing dining room, so it gets a lot of light there, but it won't get direct sunlight. It's very important that you keep it out of direct sunlight. Otherwise, these cuttings will start to cook in this propagation box, and you don't want that. So really simple, guys. Just want to make sure that you keep the box inside quite moist, so just check on it every few days. Just make sure that there's condensation on the sides of the inside of the box. If it starts to look a little bit dry, then just top it up with your spray bottle, give it a few sprays, and then put the box back on. Shouldn't need to do it too often. And like I say, within a few weeks, you'll start to see some roots. When they grow about an inch long, maybe, you can take them out of this box and put them into a nice soil mix, a nice light soil mix. Put them on the side somewhere, be patient, and then probably I would say 1 or 2 months later, maybe even 3, depending on the circumstances, they will start to push out new growth. So I'm sure you'll agree, guys, a really easy plant to propagate. Biggest challenge really is just being patient with it. Relatively slow to grow roots and then push out new growth, but all we need to do is just keep it on the side somewhere and just check in on it and make sure that it's moist enough for root development. Just wanted to show you this plant. This is a cutting that I took in the summer about 4 months ago, and I did it in the same way as this video that I showed you guys, and as you can see there's some new growth coming out on the end there, so it goes to show that this method of propagating works very nicely, and you'll be able to have additional snake plants in your house. So thanks for watching, guys. Hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, then please leave a like on the video for me. I'll be putting out a future video on the progress of these cuttings that we took today. So if you're not already, then please subscribe to the channel to be notified when that video comes out. If you have any questions about what I've done today, then please leave a comment in the comments section, and also check out my Instagram, where I post regular updates on the kind of things I'm up to and kind of preview future videos that are coming out on YouTube. So like I say, hope you enjoyed the video. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you again.